amphibians, the first class of chordates which are truly terrestrial, not truly terrestrial, but they are principally or significantly terrestrial. The name amphibian comes from the Greek, which means double life, dual life, or both lives, because they have a life cycle where half of their life is spent in underwater, and the adults come out of the water can live on the land. Although they can survive on the land, but there are still two barriers which keep them close to the water. Anyone can have a suggestion or an answer to this question: that what two barriers are there in amphibians which does not allow them to move fully on the land? So these are two limitations. That one is a respiratory limitation, that their skin, their respiratory system is not well developed, that they could totally rely on their respiratory gaseous exchange. Rather, they have highly vascularized skin, and it is very delicate and fine, thin skin which can respire through the diffusion. But at the same time, because they do not have any protection on their skin like scales or other things, so they can lose water quickly and can die and die due to dehydration. That is why these animals have to live in the highly humid environments near the water bodies or water sources. Right, and second is the reproductive system, where they do not have amniotic eggs, which we will discuss in a couple of slides after. They have anamniotic eggs, which are not protected with the water barrier or the calcified shells, and they're gelatinous and have to be laid in water. If they lay their eggs on the dry environment, they will desiccate and they will die. Okay, so these are the two limitations due to which they could not move away from the water. And even today, now that their cold blood provides them support for jumping, gills are mostly present in juvenile forms, except in few species of salamanders, which when they move out of the water as an adults, they still keep their juvenile feature of the gills on their bodies. Respiration is mostly cutaneous, although they can respire through the lungs, but that is not as efficient as the higher chordates. Skin is smooth, unprotected, and moist with mucus glands. Chemically receptive skins are present in these animals. They can sense the chemical composition of their surroundings by the skin, and their eggs are aquatic with a gelatinous covering. Most of the animals have two pairs of the limbs, except one order which have lost their legs secondarily, or we can say their legs become vestigial in these animals because they do not use those legs. Circulatory system has a major development at this point. Until the fish and even in their immatures, the heart was two-chambered. But once they become adults and they start living principally on the terrestrial land, now they have three-chambered heart, which includes two auricles and one ventricle. Right? This is because now their blood circulatory system has to be efficient to absorb much of the oxygen from the air rather than from the water. So they have developed or established a two-cycle blood flow, where the one is a pulmonary cycle where the blood is sent to the lungs or the skin for cleansing and gaseous exchange, and the other one is a systemic cycle which flows the blood in the rest of the body for providing nutrition and collecting waste from those parts. And the fertilization is mostly external, except a few species which can do internal fertilization as well. There are three orders in this class Amphibia, and we will discuss them very briefly. The order Chordata, the animals or the amphibians with the tail, and they include newts and salamanders. Order Anura, these are the frogs and toads, the animals which do not have tails as an adult. And order Gymnophonia are caecilians, which are worm-like animals. Okay, let's start with order Chordata. Chordates have fully developed limbs and retain a tail as in adults. These are the amphibians which evolved first and came out of the water, but they rely more significantly on the damp and moist regions, and could not move even a few even a shorter distance away from the water. Right, so that is why you will find salamanders in the puddles or in marshes or in the shallow waters. They do not have lungs and entirely depend upon their cutaneous respiration, and we know that cutaneous respiration will be more efficient when they are in close contact with the water, the air. So that reason that they have to be around the water sources. Some of their species, like mud puppies, could retain their larval gills as an adults, but mostly the gills are confined to the immatures. And they feed on insects and small mollusks and other debris. They have more complex skeletal system with a few of the bones in their abdomen and in their back muscles, back of the skeleton. They are fused together to give the higher strength for jumping and perform specific functions. And also they have specific arrangement of the muscles in their skeletal system that provides them the ability to jump. Among all the amphibians, this is the most successful group of the animals which have established a lot of different diversifications and have adapted to different atmospheres and different habitats. You can find frogs and toads near the swamps and even in the mountains or in the driest regions where they have more adaptation to survive and do their reproduction using the small pockets of moistures or waters. They can also be found in the rainforest, on the trees. Right, so in this way, they are more successful of the all amphibians. The order Gymnophonia is a rather rare type of the amphibians which are not very obvious in the natural habitats. They burrow in the soils and they live in the decomposing organic matters. They are worm-like and normally found in the tropical forests. They do not have any legs or they do not have eyes. They're totally blind. Their eyes are vestigial too, only because they live in the burrows in the dark environments, so they do not need eyes and they have been lost. These are the only amphibians which have the scales on their skin. Okay, so let's revise the class amphibia. So we discussed the general characteristics of the amphibians, that they have two restrictions which restrict them to the water sources. The one is the respiratory system, other is the reproductive system and type of the eggs they have. Then we see there are mainly three orders of amphibians. The one we see the chordates, which are the primitive ones, have a tail as an adult and then does not have a respiratory system. So they mainly respire through the skin. Those are newts and salamanders. Then anurans are the most successful group of the amphibians, which includes frogs and toads. You can find them in the diverse habitats from trees to mountains to dry regions as well. And finally, the Gymnophonia, which live in the burrows and they do not have any access to the water bodies. And what they do for reproduction, they collect the moisture from those burrows and make a small pond within their burrow and lay eggs in that water. And their tadpoles complete their life cycle in those water sources and become the adults. And these Gymnophonians are the only amphibians which have the scale on their body.